In a previous video, I demonstrated for you in the Firefox browser installing MetaMask and adding the USDC stablecoin, which set the foundation for you to be able to take complete ownership of your US dollars, but move them onto the blockchain. In that same video, I mentioned that USDC was but one of the options for stable tokens on the blockchain. In this video, I thought I would give an overview of some of your other options. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to the channel for more content, in this example, cryptocurrency related. Let's take a look at some alternatives, some additional options, maybe I should say, for stable coins. And just as a refresher, a stable coin is simply a cryptocurrency, crypto coin, that resides on a blockchain. And in our example, we will continue to use the Ethereum blockchain, a stable coin that is pegged or tied to the US dollar. So bring up my browser here, and in this case, I'm using the Brave browser. And we are on a website for circle.com. This website describes USDC, which we've talked about in previous videos. Here you can find all sorts of information, all sorts of confirming information as to why this is stable, where it gets its stability. You see new announcements relative to different programs, etc., etc. Digital money for the digital age. USDC represents a major breakthrough in how we use money. Circle, in conjunction with Coinbase, has created USDC to give us access to the blockchain without the volatility. Moving on, let's look at another one. Paxos and their Pax token, again tied 1-to-1 with the US dollar, helping you avoid the volatility typically found in cryptocurrencies. Here on the Paxos.com site, we have as well a bunch of information relative to the project, but you see here in the case of Pax, they've got a lot more to offer as well. It also turns out that PayPal, remember that recent announcement where PayPal is going to be enabling cryptocurrency, enabling their customers to get access to cryptocurrency via the PayPal app? Well, it turns out that at the core of their enablement of that functionality is Paxos. They have an offering down here, stablecoin as a service. So this is really interesting. So we begin to see those organizations that have been building and building over the years, and through the bear markets, they've just continued to build product. We see them now, ironically, becoming the foundations or cornerstones for offerings provided by the traditional players in global finance. We also have the Gemini Dollar, the Gemini Exchange, the Winklevoss twins. They've got their own stable coin, also tied to the US dollar, preventing you or eliminating your exposure to the volatility in other cryptocurrencies. Obviously available on the Gemini Exchange. Interestingly enough, you can also gain access to the Gemini Dollar on BlockFi. In fact, if you were to take advantage of BlockFi's deposit interest, high interest bearing deposit accounts. If you were to wire money to BlockFi, the money that you wire or send to BlockFi, they will automatically turn into Gemini dollars. Be a little bit careful with that. Careful is maybe a strong word in this case. At my last testing with GUSD, there are certain states that don't allow for it to be traded. So just do your research to make sure that it's available in your state. Not a big deal. You can actually do the conversion on the BlockFi site if your state happens to be one of those that is not sanctioned for or not enabled, not allowed, doesn't have the appropriate regulation to use GUSD. So it's not like you'd be locked into a situation, but wanted to mention it just so you were aware. What else is out there? There is also True USD by the company called Trust Token. True USD, similar pattern here, another stable coin, fully backed by the US dollar. Again, another one built for the new global financial system. Nice workflow on this site. I've actually used this quite extensively. I've used this one and USDC probably to equal extent. I like the flow for both of them. You can wire funds from your bank account. The act of wiring triggers a workflow that ultimately signals a smart contract to have the True USD in this case sent over to the Ethereum wallet that you specify in your profile. And again, on all of these sites, you'll find something similar to the Get True USD button here, which will allow you to set up your profile and begin the process. Next up, we've got the Binance USD. So the Binance exchange, Binance.com for places outside of the US, and Binance.us for US citizens. BUSD is the stable coin on that exchange tied to the US dollar, giving you some additional protection from volatility found in crypto. It also turns out that BUSD also relies upon the Paxos platform to do what it does. Setting up a profile on the Binance exchange, very simple. Click the register button to begin the process. There is also DAI, the only fully decentralized stablecoin. MakerDAO.com takes you to this site. Lots of educational information here, telling you some of the background behind DAI. You can read the white paper, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting to get that background, by the way. Highly recommended. You then can move on to learn a bit more about what's possible, learn how to earn DAI. Maybe you want to begin transacting in DAI with your friends, family, etc. Certainly possible. And then you get an understanding of how significantly the ecosystem around DAI is in fact growing. DeFi platforms, games, wallets, etc. This space, the whole cryptocurrency space, is now rapidly expanding. I'll use the word maturing in a rapid way. So as a practical example, extending on something that we've done before, I'm going to go over to a crypto wallet here. We're in the Brave browser, as I may have mentioned earlier in the video. And this is another one of those browsers that has crypto wallet functionality built in to the product. And in this case, it is a completely empty wallet. I got no ETH and no BAT but what I wanted to do was to build upon the example that I provided while we were using Firefox and go ahead and add the representation for all of the stable coins that we've talked about in this video. And you will see, even though this functionality is built into this particular browser, the workflow remains much the same. We click add token, and what do we have here? I can say let's add USDC. Click on that. Let's add PAX. I'll click on that. Let's add Gemini or GUSD. I'll click on that as well. And then let's add TUSD. We'll click on that. We'll also add, actually, BUSD. We'll see, be careful with this one. It looks like there is still a representation of the smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's important to note that Binance has actually created their own blockchain, so clearly they're going to prefer that. Finally, we will add DAI, and I'll go next, and you can see now that each of the tokens that we clicked on in that workflow before, we get to review. Yes, we want to add all of these representations to our Ethereum wallet. We'll go ahead and say add tokens, and when I go back here to list all of the assets, I see that those representations are now listed under the assets in this wallet. And so as I begin to send actual value to this particular wallet, we'd be able to see the quantities of each of the tokens that we're holding here. Important to note, you don't have to have the token added to the wallet before you send value to it. You can do so after the fact. So prior to adding these, to say that another way, prior to adding these things, if I were to, for example, send USDC from Coinbase or the Circle website itself, I can send that before adding this token. My sending to my public key is enough to transfer ownership of those USDC tokens to this wallet, and I can go ahead and add this after the fact to see the quantity represented there. So hopefully that little explanation made sense. So there you have it. That's a little bit more on how to use the wallet technology. In this case, built into the browser, the same functionality applies to the MetaMask add-in, and I dare say any of the mobile wallets that you might be using. You will probably find that on a mobile wallet, the appearance of those tokens will happen simply as a byproduct of you sending value to those wallets. And so that'll wrap it up for this video. Hopefully that is information that will help you as you begin to expand upon your knowledge and practical exposure to blockchain technology, the Ethereum blockchain. Hope you're doing well. Stay safe, and you will see me in the next one.